Howdy, my dudes. Random Fight Fan here. First of all, this here is about my thoughts on what could massively make the game better. And to keep this a little bit shorter, more bite-sized, I'm going to split this into 3 videos. But the reason for this video is because POE 2 is a really good game, but it could be exquisite. It has the bones of something that can eclipse POE 1, but it needs work still, and I really don't want my points to be taken the wrong way. I want them to be constructive and help the game improve for the majority of players. Like, my intentions are not to turn PoE 2 into PoE 1, but also there's a lot that went well into that game that should not be forgotten or ignored. And while the patch for 0.2G has been delayed as of the recording of this video, the notes are very promising and show it moving in the right direction for sure. And it also shows that GGG is more than willing to listen to the players and change what is most certainly broken. Like, this is certainly a game worth believing in, and for that reason, and in no particular order, here's my list of changes that I think could massively improve the game for everybody. So first, mana and spirit costs are still too high. Dropping them all by probably like another 25% would be extremely helpful. I have 62 mana cost, my lightning spirit's a level 19 spear, and I even have wherever it is here, like, I have like no cost skills as much as I can, like Innervate and Ice Bite, and these are relatively low cost multipliers, and still with tossing out Lightning Spear like once every couple seconds, my mana goes down. It is too high and unsustainable. And same thing with Spirit. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to deal with. Like, is there a reason why we only have 100 base spirit, but a single item can give us 200 spirit? You can get a scepter that has a base spirit of 100 plus 90% increased spirit and a socket for another 10%. I guess that means we could get 210% with 2 sockets on it. Like, maybe move some of that towards the base spirit pool so that people aren't feeling so restrictive on what they can for spirit skills, especially with two-handed weapons. You can't use that scepter with the two-handed skill, and it really reduces build diversity. Now, second point, early level skill balancing is still off. While skills like Stormlance feel amazing late game, they are relatively trash early on. And even if you have crazy gear in the early game, it's still not that good. I know this. I've ran this character through the campaign with leveling gear, and Stormlance felt horrible compared to, like, tornadoes. But on the flip side, even though tornadoes are bonkers, or I should say twisters are bonkers early, they fall off a cliff come late game because their big thing is using your frenzy charges on barrage to get as many twisters. But Wind Serpents is just massively better, more consistent. Obviously, it doesn't clear the maps as well, but then you got Lightning Spear to do that for you anyways. And then if you're on an Amazon or an Invoker or something, Stormlance is just better than Twisters as well. Like, Twisters don't keep up. I mean, sure, you could say it's an early level skill, but I feel like they should all be viable. And now, third point, attribute requirements are absolutely ridiculous. They're way too high. This either needs balancing by reducing the skill requirements for gems, or by increasing how many attributes we get on the tree. Like, yeah, we can take a lot of select nodes, but while we get a nice 10 decks here, it feels to the point where almost every notable should have attributes on it with how high the requirements are. This could be fixed by putting the nodes on the tree, obviously, reducing the costs, or increasing how much you get on gear. Like, there's a lot of ways they could go by fixing it, but attributes definitely need to be tweaked. And now, fourth point, generating charges feels bad for everyone not called Deadeye. And charges are just too weak outside of Deadeye for how much of a pain they are to generate. Like, yeah, we could get something like Mark on Hit support to give us cast on critical, Sniper's Mark effectiveness, but I mean, I put a video out showing how controllers work really well with cast on critical and Mark, but not well on mouse and keyboard. It would help fix that for going against rares, but maybe we don't need Mark on Hit. Maybe we just need better ways of getting charges. Maybe skills that use charges could have it like chance to gain it on crit, or maybe we could have some on the tree, or supports that give chance for charge, just like how there's the support skill that gives a chance to give an endurance charge on breaking armor. There just needs to be more ways to get charges of all types. It would make build diversity feel incredible. It would allow the chargers to actually matter. It would make more skills more useful. I just want more ways for everyone to get charges because, well, adding more ways to use them would mean more ways to use them, or more ways to gain them, more ways to use them would make the game feel so much more smooth and enjoyable. Now, fifth point, over-nerfing for the sake of testing new things is a little bit out of hand. Like, if you haven't seen it, Hex Blast, oh my poor Hex Blast. You see how right here it detonates a curse on enemies in a 2.4 meter radius, but the curse needs to have at least half the duration has expired. This is so terrible. It also means that you can't have blasphemy aura on and nuke people with that curse synergy anymore at all. Like, it was the obvious pairing, and now it's just gone. You can't have unlimited curses on the ground. Like, Hex Blast is just a dead skill now. It's very, very unfortunate. And so there's other skills like Spark and Detonate Dead, and these should be viable skills to play. They shouldn't just be destroyed. Like, what was done to Hex Blast was unethical. Like, I don't know if it insulted somebody's mother at the office or something. I don't understand it. But, like, over-nerfing to that extent should not be done. Even if this is early access and they want us testing other skills, whatever the reason for it, yeah, it's not pleasant. And then there's things like Flicker Strike, obviously, not being able to get power charges while flickering. That should just be done and dusted as well. Like, everything should feel good and smooth, not like you're trying to get over a hurdle just to cast your basic ability. And now, 6 point, spears were considered extremely weak until they weren't. We're obviously in a spear meta right now, but all types of weapons need to feel excellent if there isn't going to be skill flexibility. Because if skills are locked behind weapon types and one skill is the best, everyone is only going to be playing that one weapon type. We need more skills to be as good as like Lightning Spear for clear, or as good as Tempest Bell was for doing bossing, and as good as Perry thought it was going to be for active defense. Like, every skill, every weapon class should be viable, either through skills going on to different weapon types, or all weapon types having skills that could technically or theoretically do all content with a relatively fair balancing. Now, point 7 is defensives. They need serious retuning. Like, Energy Shield still feels good, but all the other defensives need to feel just as powerful. Without Hari's Ire, Evasion feels garbage, but with it, it feels great. And that's how Evasion should feel all the time. We shouldn't have 75% less evasion rating just to get that effect from the tree. Like, evasion feels great, and with Hari's Ire, obviously, it makes sense, because if you get hit once, maybe you're dazed, like, oh no, I'm a little bit stunned, and now you can get hit by everything again. I like that. That's great synergy. That's fantastic. That really is how evasion should be all the time. And now for armor, I don't even know what needs to be done for that. Just make armor good. Please just make armor good. It's not in a good spot right now. Point number 8. Stuns, staggers, and ailments need many more ways to deal with them. Ailment immunity is just not a thing, aside from getting a thawing charm for freeze, but the rest, yeah, it's just not there. It's actually quite unfortunate. I had attempted to try and get stun immunity, but even with 10k base energy shield last season and about 50% energy shield as additional stun threshold, I still didn't feel very great with stun resistances. I don't want to get light stunned. I want, it's not on my bar anymore, but the stone charm that says prevents a stun, well, you're still getting light stunned all the time. It feels absolutely horrendous. Like, why should we be punished if we have all of the gearing and character creation set up for being a specific tanky way, but it just doesn't work? Like, yes, we should be punished for getting backed into a corner, but our defensive layers also need to be rewarded. Point number 9, the parry system seems to be GGG's baby, but it wasn't built well for ARPGs. Even things like the Roa weren't designed well, with the stun meter never going away and being heavy stunned and almost guaranteeing to die the second it goes off. Like, it needs to be more tweaked. Like, when the punishment for using something is death, then it's not worth using it. Now, point number 10, the passive tree was massively increased in PoE 2, massively. But we didn't get any more skill points, really. Like, yeah, we have the weapon set stuff for a little bit of diversity, which is fantastic. I'm unfortunately not using it with this because they still want us to actually swap, and I would love to be able to use weapon set 1 and 2 with the same weapons for different types of creative build ideas, but that's not a thing yet. But the main issue is, since we have the same amount of passive points, but this is so much bigger, we feel so punished for trying to travel the tree. Like, it doesn't need many more points to allow for you to move more, but the issue is, because we're restricted by points, build diversity is also heavily limited. By adding like 5 or 10 points in the campaign, it would allow for much more build diversity and reduce the case that we have now where like half the people start making one type of build and then the trees look almost identical because they all come to the same conclusion as what's best. And there will still be meta pathing and all the likes, but it will allow for more creativity with just a few more points. Now, point 11 is the terrible Ascendancy skills. While I don't have any here to show on the Deadeye, I can pull up Path of Building here and show you exactly what I mean. So with the Amazon, Elemental Infusion, while decent, was heavily nerfed by it's about 20% of what it was shown in the press release the day before release. It was supposed to be like 500 or 600% weapon damage, and yeah, only use one at a time. Sure, whatever. But now it's only at like 150, 160% at that same level. It's very disappointing with how much they nerf the damage, and the fact that it's only able to consume one charge at a time or one infusion at a time makes it feel lackluster. Then there's things like Ritual Sacrifice on the Ritualist that just takes an absolute age to go off. You don't want to be sitting there every time you kill a rare to be slowly carving it up for several seconds. It's not good. Then there's Blood Boil, which is only good against packs, which, yeah, apparently it's decent against like some simulacrum build or for some simulacrum builds, but it has zero effect on bossing. Then there's things like Embrace the Darkness, which just completely nerfs your entire spirit, and with no way to get like even one's free spirit skill, it's just bad. Then on top of that, there's things like Scatter Them to the Winds here with Elemental Expression. It's still a spell, so it's doing hundreds of damage at endgame, just feeling terrible. Some things need to be changed, like make this an attack or spell based on what's triggering it. It would allow for, again, build diversity and change everything. And then finally, like, why is it that using anything that isn't defensives on the Smithic Kitava a meme? Why is it just terrible? These skills should really be class defining and build defining. You shouldn't feel like a fool taking Ascendancy skills. There's very few that are decent. Like, I know the Pathfinder had some concoction stuff last season. I don't know if anyone's doing it now, but for the most part, these Ascendancy skills are really terrible. There's a few good ones, but majority are bad. That's the end of part 1. I will have the other video coming out shortly. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Like and sub if you didn't. If you didn't, don't. Again, these are meant to be taken in a productive criticism way. This isn't meant to crap on GGG. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you later.